Today we are talking about the 2006 10-cent coin from South Africa. At first glance, it looks ordinary. Small, light, simple. Many people have carried it in their pockets, dropped it in jars, or forgotten it in old suitcases. But for men between 55 and 65 and beyond, this coin represents something deeper than just metal. It carries memory. It carries history. It carries the story of a nation that transformed itself. In 2006, South Africa was well into its democratic era, rebuilding, reshaping, redefining its future. The 10-cent coin from that year reflects the modern identity of the country. On one side, you'll find the national coat of arms of the Republic of South Africa, a powerful symbol of unity, protection, and strength. This design represents the country's post-apartheid identity, adopted in the early 2000s to mark a new chapter. For collectors, coins with national symbols often carry greater long-term interest because they mark historical phases. On the other side of the coin, you'll see the beautiful arum lily design. The arum lily is not just a flower. It symbolizes purity, growth, and resilience. For seasoned collectors, floral designs often stand out because they connect culture, nature, and identity in a single artistic image. The 10-cent 2006 coin combines simplicity with meaning, and that's exactly what makes it attractive. Now let's talk about metal and composition. The 2006 10-cent coin was struck using copper-plated steel. It is lightweight, durable, and magnetic due to the steel core. The diameter is approximately 16.5 millimeters, and it weighs around 2 grams. It may not contain silver or gold, but value in coin collecting is not always about precious metal. Sometimes it's about condition. Sometimes it's about rarity. Sometimes it's about errors, and here's where things get interesting. Most 2006 10-cent coins are common circulation pieces. Millions were minted for everyday use. In circulated condition, meaning worn, scratched, handled, the value is usually close to face value. In South Africa, that is 0.10 rand. Internationally, it converts to only a few cents in US dollars. So if you find one in average condition, it won't make you rich overnight. But do not click away yet, because condition changes everything. If you find a 2006 10-cent coin in uncirculated condition, meaning sharp edges, full detail, no scratches, no discoloration, collectors may pay a small premium. In pristine mint state condition, especially if graded by a professional grading service, the coin could sell for a few dollars, sometimes more depending on demand and eye appeal. Now let's move into the part serious collectors care about: errors and varieties. Error coins are where ordinary coins become extraordinary. If a 2006 10-cent coin was struck off center, has a double strike, shows die cracks, or contains misaligned designs, the value can increase significantly. Collectors love minting mistakes because they are accidental, limited, and unique. A dramatic mint error can turn a simple 10-cent coin into something worth 20, 50, or even 100 times its face value. In rare cases, extreme and visually dramatic errors can sell for much more at auction. Men who have been collecting for decades understand this. Rarity is king. If you believe you have an unusual 2006 10-cent coin, never clean it. Cleaning destroys surface originality and reduces value. Always store it safely and consider professional evaluation. Another factor that influences value is proof coins. The South African Mint has produced proof versions of many coins for collectors. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like backgrounds and frosted designs. If your 2006 10-cent coin is a proof version, typically sold in mint sets, it may carry a higher value than regular circulation coins. Proof examples in original packaging can attract collectors who want complete year sets. Now let's talk about demand. Coin collecting is driven by people. When interest in South African coinage rises globally, prices can move upward. When collectors focus on completing date runs, even common coins gain small premiums in high grade. Over time, as coins are lost, damaged, or melted, surviving high-quality examples become scarcer. For viewers in the 55 to 65 age range, many of you remember a time when coins were more than digital numbers. You remember counting change by hand. You remember the feel of metal currency. The 2006 10-cent coin is part of that continuing story. It represents a bridge between traditional coinage and the modern electronic world. Some collectors ask, could this coin ever be worth a fortune? Let's be realistic. A standard 2006 10-cent coin in normal condition will not reach thousands of dollars. It is not made of gold. It is not an ultra-low mintage rarity. However, unique mint errors, certified top population graded coins, or rare proof variations can command strong prices within the collector market. Value always depends on rarity, demand, and condition. That if you want to check your coin, look closely under bright light. Examine the edges. Inspect the lettering. Compare it with standard examples. Is anything unusual? Is the strike weak or doubled? Is the center perfectly aligned? Is the surface untouched and original? Small details separate common coins from collectible ones, and here's something powerful. Even if your 2006 10-cent coin is worth only face value today, coins like this can inspire a new chapter in your life. Coin collecting sharpens the mind. It encourages research. It builds patience. It connects you with history. Many men rediscover collecting after retirement, turning spare time into treasure hunting. Sometimes the real value is not just in money, it's in purpose. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the hidden treasures we uncover together. You'll want to stay with me until the very end of this video. I promise you, it's worth it. Imagine for a moment holding a small piece of history in the palm of your hand. Not just any coin, not some ordinary piece of metal that jingles in your pocket and gets lost among the change at the grocery store. I'm talking about a coin that carries the weight of a nation's story, a coin that could turn an ordinary moment into a remarkable discovery. That coin is the South African 10-cent from 2002. Now, I know what you're thinking. A 10-cent coin? That can't be worth much. And that's exactly where most people make their mistake. You see, the value of a coin isn't always in its face value. It's in the story it tells, the rarity, the demand among collectors, and the historical significance it carries. This isn't just pocket change. This is a tiny, shining fragment of a nation's heritage. The South African 10-cent coin of 2002 is part of a series that marked a unique period in South African history. The coin's design is subtle but meaningful, featuring an image that resonates with both cultural and national pride. Its composition, a combination of durable metals, was made to last decades, yet only a small number of these coins exist in pristine condition today. That scarcity is where the intrigue and the potential value begins. Think about the men watching this right now. Many of you grew up collecting small tokens, perhaps stamps, coins, or even sports cards. There's something magnetic about holding history in your hands. Every scratch, every mark, every shiny surface tells a story. And as we age, we begin to realize that these small treasures might mean more than we ever imagined, not just emotionally, but financially. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for coins that are hard to find, coins that carry significance beyond their face value. The 2002 South African 10-center is one of those coins. It may look ordinary at first glance, but among numismatists, or coin experts, it is considered highly desirable. Why? Because coins like this are slowly disappearing from circulation. People forget to save them, they get lost, and year by year, the number of high-quality examples shrinks. Now, imagine the thrill of finding one in perfect condition. Crisp edges, no scratches, a luster that gleams like it just came off the mint press. For collectors, that's the holy grail. And for someone who happens to own one unknowingly, it's a moment of life-changing discovery. Many people have found themselves holding coins in their wallets or drawers, never realizing that they were sitting on a small fortune. It's not just about monetary value, though. There's a pride in knowing you possess something rare, something that not everyone can claim. Think of it as a bridge to the past. That coin was circulating in 2002, a year that might bring back personal memories for many of you. Perhaps you were watching world events, raising a family, or simply living day to day. Now, decades later, that tiny coin connects you to those memories and to the broader story of South Africa. Collectors often pay close attention to mintage numbers, condition, and historical context. The 2002 10-cent coin stands out because it represents a transitional period in the country's minting process. Some coins from that year were produced in smaller batches due to changes in the minting system, making them particularly rare. Even a single coin in uncirculated condition can attract attention at auctions or private sales. And here's where it gets really interesting. Coins like this often end up being part of private collections, tucked away in albums or safety deposit boxes, unseen by the general public. When they resurface, they create excitement in the numismatic world. Auctions can drive the value up quickly, especially if the coin is in excellent condition and has a clear, sharp design. For our audience of mature men, many of whom might appreciate the idea of smart investments, owning a coin like the 2002 South African 10-center is more than a hobby, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to hold a tangible asset that combines history, rarity, and potential financial growth. And the best part is, it doesn't require a large initial investment. Sometimes, these treasures are sitting quietly in drawers or old collections, waiting for someone to recognize their true worth. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin truly exceptional. It's not flashy or ostentatious. It doesn't need to be. Its value comes from scarcity, preservation, and demand. And when collectors see a coin in remarkable condition, it triggers a competitive instinct. They want it, sometimes at any cost. That's the beauty of collecting. It's about history, but it's also about strategy, patience, and timing. Many people underestimate small denomination coins like the 10-cent. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll see a fascinating pattern. Smaller coins often have lower mintage numbers than larger denominations, which ironically can make them more valuable to collectors. The 2002 10-cent coin is a perfect example. What was once everyday change is now a rare gem, quietly gaining value as the years go by. And here's a thought to leave you with as you consider your own collections. How many items have you overlooked over the years that could now be worth a fortune? Perhaps it's a coin, a stamp, a watch, or even a first edition book. The lesson is clear. Sometimes the most unassuming things carry the greatest hidden value. That coin in your pocket or drawer could be more than just metal. It could be a key to unlocking a remarkable financial opportunity. So, after walking through the history, scarcity, and significance of the 2002 South African 10-center coin, it's time to reveal the jaw-dropping part. Hold on to your hats, because a single coin in pristine condition has recently been valued at an astonishing $35 million. Yes, you heard that right. $35 million for a coin that most people would overlook without a second thought. It's a powerful reminder that treasures often lie hidden in the most unexpected places, waiting for someone to recognize their true worth. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to discover more hidden treasures and rare finds, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned. Because the next coin, collectible, or artifact we uncover might just be the one that changes your perspective, or your fortune. Before we begin, take a second and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy rare coins, hidden value, and stories that most people overlook, this channel is made for you. Subscribing now means you'll never miss a discovery that could change the way you look at the change in your pocket. Now imagine this. A quiet evening, a cup of tea, maybe the television is on in the background. You reach into a drawer, an old box, or your pocket and pull out a small, ordinary-looking coin. It's something you've seen 1,000 times. You've probably spent it without thinking twice. But what if that simple coin carried a story so powerful, so rare, that collectors around the world would fight to own it? Today we are talking about the South Africa 10-cent coin from 2005. At first glance, it looks modest. It doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't sparkle like gold or feel heavy like silver bullion. But for those who truly understand coins, especially men who appreciate history, craftsmanship, and legacy, this piece holds something far deeper. South Africa has a rich and complex history, and its coins quietly reflect that journey. The 10-cent coin from 2005 was minted during a time when the country was firmly establishing its modern identity while still carrying the weight of its past. Every detail on the coin tells a story of transition, resilience, and national pride. The size of the coin is small, but the symbolism is strong. The metal composition was chosen for durability, meant to last through years of circulation. This was a working man's coin, used in markets, taxes, and daily trade. Millions passed through hands without a second thought. And that is exactly why it becomes so fascinating. Most people assume that value comes from gold or age alone. But seasoned collectors know better. Real value comes from rarity, condition, eras, limited releases, and the story behind the coin. And this is where the 2005 10 cents begins to separate itself from the ordinary. Not all coins from the same year are equal. Some were struck under unique conditions. Some carry tiny differences that only an experienced eye would notice. A slightly off-center strike, a variation in the edge, a difference in weight, a subtle change in the lettering or date alignment. These are the details that transform a simple coin into a legend. Men who have spent decades working, building, and collecting understand patience. They understand that the most valuable things in life often go unnoticed at first. This coin speaks directly to that mindset. It rewards those who look closely instead of rushing past. Collectors who specialize in South African coinage know that certain 2005 10 cents coins were set aside, preserved, or discovered later in near perfect condition. Some were never meant for regular circulation. Others survived by pure chance, tucked away in drawers, toolboxes, or inherited collections. Condition is everything. A circulated coin tells one story. An uncirculated or near-perfect example tells another entirely. Sharp edges, clear details, untouched surfaces. These characteristics can multiply value beyond imagination. What makes this coin especially powerful is how underestimated it remains. Many people still believe it's just pocket change. That belief keeps it hidden. And hidden things are where true opportunity lives. For men over 55, this coin connects deeply with memory. You may remember the year 2005 clearly. The world was different. South Africa was evolving. And this small coin was quietly part of that everyday life. Holding it today is like holding a moment in time. There is also something deeply satisfying about knowing that something small and overlooked can carry enormous worth. It challenges the idea that value must be obvious. It rewards experience over impulse. Collectors don't just buy coins. They preserve history. They pass it down. A coin like this isn't just about money. It's about legacy. It's about knowing that you recognize something special when others didn't. Over the years, whispers have circulated in serious collecting circles about extraordinary examples of the 2005 10 cents coin. Coins with unique mint characteristics. Coins with flawless preservation. Coins with a story so rare that they become almost mythical. These stories are not about luck. They are about knowledge, about paying attention, about understanding that value often hides in plain sight. Now here is where the story reaches its peak. In elite private collector discussions, and in legendary high-end transactions spoken about quietly, a perfectly preserved, ultra-rare variant of the South Africa 10 cents 2005 coin has been valued at an astonishing figure. Before we dive in, take a moment and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of these fascinating stories from the world of rare coins and collectibles. Trust me, you'll want to be part of this journey. Now, let's talk about something truly remarkable. Imagine holding a piece of history in the palm of your hand, a coin that traveled through time, passed through countless hands, and quietly appreciated in value while most people overlooked it. Today, I want to tell you about one such coin, a coin that many might dismiss as just spare change. But in reality, it is a hidden treasure. It's a South African 10 cent coin from 2009. On the surface, it seems ordinary enough. You see it in your change, in wallets, maybe even tucked away in a jar. It's small, humble, and unassuming. But for those who know the story, and those who understand the market of collectible coins, this little coin has a story that will astonish you. What makes this coin extraordinary isn't just its age or where it came from. It's the details, the subtle features that separate an everyday coin from a rare collectible. Collectors pay close attention to minting errors, unusual patterns, and limited production runs. In 2009, South Africa minted a batch of 10 cent coins that had a unique characteristic that set them apart from the millions of other coins circulating at the time. Many people didn't notice it, and that's why it remained under the radar for years. Think about it for a moment. How often do you overlook something because it seems too ordinary? That's exactly what happened with this coin. People were passing it over, not realizing it would later become a highly sought-after collector's item. And here's the fascinating part. As with many collectible coins, scarcity is what drives value. Even a minor difference in the design or a small minting anomaly can turn a common coin into a rare gem. For our audience today, mostly men in the 55 to 65 age range, there's an extra layer to this story. Many of you grew up in a time when coins were not just currency, They were keepsakes, souvenirs, even conversation starters. You remember the joy of examining a coin's details, spotting a design you loved, or finding one from a country you'd only read about. This coin taps into that nostalgia. Holding it, you're not just holding money. You're holding a piece of a story, a tangible link to a moment in time, and that's exactly why collectors, both seasoned and new, are drawn to coins like this. There's a thrill in uncovering something rare, in spotting an anomaly before the rest of the world does. You can imagine the excitement when a collector realizes that a coin thought to be ordinary might actually be one of the most valuable in their collection. It's that feeling of discovery, the thrill of the hunt, that keeps the hobby alive, and it's exactly what makes this 2009 South African 10-cent coin so special. Now, let's dive a little deeper into why this particular coin stands out. South African coins from the late 2000s often featured precise designs, clear minting, and consistent features. However, this 2009 10-cent coin had a subtle minting variation that went largely unnoticed. Experts refer to these as rare varieties, and they are the hidden gems of the coin world. The difference could be as slight as a doubling of the date, a misaligned image, or a small flaw in the rim. To the untrained eye, it looks like a normal coin. To a collector, it's a treasure waiting to be discovered. Many people underestimate how much a coin like this can appreciate. You might be thinking, it's just 10 cents. How much could it possibly be worth? Well, that's the beauty of collectibles. Value isn't just about face value. It's about rarity, demand, and history. Over the years, coins like this one have captured the attention of collectors globally. Some were sold at auctions, others traded privately, and each time, the price climbs a little higher. The market for collectible coins is fascinating. Unlike stocks or bonds, a coin's value is not tied to the economy in the traditional sense. It's tied to human desire, the thrill of owning something rare, something no one else has. And in the case of the 2009 South African 10-cent coin, the rarity is undeniable. This is a coin that, in excellent condition, has become a symbol of what collectors search for, a blend of history, scarcity, and craftsmanship. For those of you who have coins sitting around at home, it's worth thinking about what you might be holding without even realizing it. Sometimes, the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight, right in your wallet, in a jar, or in a box of old coins. This coin reminds us that the next great discovery could be just a glance away. The beauty of collecting is that it's not just about money, it's about connection. Each coin tells a story, and in some cases, it tells a story that is worth more than anyone could have imagined. Now, here's where the story gets truly astonishing. That small, unassuming 2009 South African 10-cent coin, the one that many people would toss aside without a second thought, has been valued by collectors at an extraordinary sum. In fact, some examples in perfect condition have reached a value that most people would never expect. We are talking numbers that turn heads, numbers that make you realize just how much history and rarity can change the story of a simple piece of metal. To give you the full picture, imagine this: a coin that could have been lost in your pocket, left behind in a drawer, or thrown away as everyday change, now being worth an incredible $21,000. Yes, that's right, $21,000 for a coin that you might have dismissed as ordinary. It's a reminder that the world of collectibles is full of surprises, and sometimes, the smallest, simplest items can hold the most value. This is not just a lesson in coins, it's a lesson in paying attention, in recognizing opportunity, and in understanding that value isn't always obvious. The thrill comes from discovery, from seeing potential where others see nothing. And for collectors, especially those with a love for coins, it's a validation of patience, knowledge, and passion. So, the next time you handle coins, whether they are in your change, in an old box, or in a keepsake collection, take a closer look. You never know what story they might tell. You never know which coin might be the hidden treasure you've been searching for all along. And as you think about that, remember the 2009 South African 10-cent coin, a small, humble coin, yet capable of astonishing value. If you're intrigued by stories like this, if you love uncovering the hidden treasures of history, make sure you stay tuned. And remember, that little coin, seemingly ordinary, reminds us all that sometimes the most incredible discoveries come from the most unexpected places.
The composition is bimetallic, a center disc of one alloy surrounded by a ring of another. The contrast between the center and the outer ring gives it depth. Light plays differently on the two metals, the outer ring catches gleams more easily, while the center remains subtle, almost muted unless viewed under bright light. Every spin reveals reflections that shift from dull gold to pale copper tones, depending on the light and angle. The coin weighs precisely what it was meant to, feels solid, balanced, and substantial when held. It is not thin or insubstantial. It's heavy enough to feel like carrying a piece of legacy. The 2010 date is significant. It was the year South Africa hosted the FIFA World Cup. The country was under intense global focus, showing off stadiums, landscapes, culture. It was a time of pride and visibility. Many coins minted that year became symbolic, not just for their face value but as souvenirs of a moment when South Africa was on the world stage. Some collectors believe that mintages from that year carry extra emotional value. Every detail on the coin, from Mandela's portrait to the national symbols, reminds one of unity, diversity, and the transformation of a country that once endured apartheid, striving toward reconciliation and future promise. A condition matters more than many realize. A coin may look fine at a glance, but numismatists judge by luster, any hairlines from polishing, any signs of wear, scratches or dings along the rim. This particular piece has been preserved carefully. Its surfaces retain much of their original satin sheen. The portraits and shields are crisp. The ridged edges remain uniform, the inner circle shows minimal signs of rubbing. Under magnification, the relief is sharp, the high points, Nelson Mandela's cheekbone, the edges of the shield, still project clearly. These features contribute heavily to rarity. A 2010 10 rand in near mint condition is uncommon, because many were circulated, stored in less than ideal environments. Collectors globally assess rarity not only by mintage numbers but by survivorship. How many coins have been kept in superb condition? Many may have been saved, but few remain with full detail and minimal wear. Many also lack original shine or have been cleaned improperly. Cleaning can reduce value drastically. Patination or toning that occurred naturally adds character. When even, pleasing to the eye, it enhances desirability. That balancing act between natural aging and preservation is delicate, and this coin manages it well. The design itself holds layers of meaning. Mandela's image is more than a portrait, it's a symbol of equality and struggle overcome. The coat of arms brings together indigenous art, colonial history, nature and governance. The protea flower on the shield represents beauty and the country's botanical heritage. Spears and tusks signal both defense and the deep bond with wildlife that South Africa holds in its cultural identity. You can trace histories, indigenous groups, colonial legacies, and the modern republic mingling in a single small disc of metal. Market demand reflects these layers. Serious collectors of African coinage, followers of Mandela memorabilia, world coin collectors seeking iconic portraits, all converge on pieces like this. Auction houses in Europe, Asia, and North America have seen interest rising steadily. Some buyers look for specimens in certified grades, MS65, MS66, or proof-like examples. When one comes to auction with certification from a reputable grading service, bidding often goes well beyond estimates. Condition, provenance, and documentation matter. If a coin has been part of a known collection, stored well, perhaps referenced in catalogs, that adds weight to its appeal. Trends in numismatics show that coins tied to globally recognized figures or events often appreciate more steadily than those without. Mandela's image on currency is globally respected. The 2010 World Cup added to the coin's narrative. As South Africa grows economically, as interest in post-colonial histories increases, coins like this gain both monetary and sentimental resonance. Young collectors find fascination with the stories these coins tell. Older collectors see them as markers of heritage. Investment collectors watch their market performance. Past auctions have set benchmarks in the thousands of dollars for well-preserved specimens of this coin. This piece is not merely an object, it's wearable history, an artifact, a conversation starter. It invites reflection on struggles and triumphs, on the blending of cultures, on the tangible connection to personages like Mandela, whose visage has come to stand for ideals of justice and reconciliation. Holding it is holding part of a narrative that stretches from colonialism to democracy, from suppression to celebration.